Welcome back, guys. Today we're going to be talking about the creative mindset, why the best creatives think differently than everyone else. I really like this topic. We're going to go over the intro, the 5 thinking differences, building that creative mindset, what changes, and it's the best, your action plan. So let's get right into it. The mind is everything. What you think, you become. I want to ask you something that might be uncomfortable. When was the last time you made something without immediately judging it, without the internal critic arriving before the work was even finished, without wondering what someone else would think of it before you decided what you thought of it yourself? If you're struggling to remember, that's the problem this video is about. The most successful creatives I've studied, photographers, filmmakers, visual brand builders, they don't think like most people in the space. It's not their skill level that separates them. It's the way their mind operates while they're working, the internal structure they've actually built, the specific thinking patterns that let them create consistently, courageously, and without the friction that stops most people before they even start. Today, I'm breaking down exactly what those thinking patterns are, not motivational theory, the actual cognitive differences between creatives who build something real and creatives who stay stuck at the same level for years. If you're new here, my name is Danny. I run DR Visuals. I help photographers, filmmakers, and creative brand owners build content that gets them leads. So let's get right into it. The five thinking differences. Your beliefs become your thoughts become your words, and your words become your actions. And this applies with everything in life. What you think is the result of what you are, and vice versa. So difference number 1, they separate creation from evaluation. Most creatives create and evaluate simultaneously. The idea arrives, and before it's fully formed, the critic is already assessing it. Too derivative, already been done, not original enough. The best creatives have learned through practice, not naturally, to keep these two modes completely separate. Creation time is sacred, the critique is not invited. You make the thing fully with full commitment before you evaluate whether it's good. The evaluation happens after, always after. This is not about lowering your standards, it's about giving your creative instinct enough oxygen to produce something worth evaluating. A critic in the room during creation doesn't raise the quality. It prevents the raw material from actually existing at all. Think about your last 3 pieces of content. Did you finish them fully before evaluating them? Or did the critique arrive mid-process? Most people will realize the critique has been showing up way too early. Difference number 2. They think in systems, not in moments. The average creative thinks in moments. How do I feel about creating today? Do I have a good idea right now? Is this specific video going to perform? The best creative thinkers think in systems. What processes produces good ideas consistently? What structure makes showing up automatic regardless of how I feel? This is like, if you think about it, and you go to the gym, right? You go to the gym, you have a system in place between Monday and Friday. Regardless of how you feel, you're going to the gym. So moment thinking is reactive. It depends on mood, inspiration, external conditions. System thinking is proactive. It builds the conditions under which good work happens reliably, regardless of what any given day feels like. Difference number 3. They use failure as data, not as a verdict. A video that doesn't perform, a client who doesn't book, a piece of content that lands flat. For most creatives, these outcomes feel like verdicts, evidence about their worth as a creative. The best creative thinkers treat these outcomes as data, not about their worth, about their process. What did the thumbnail communicate? When did the retention drop? What was the hook promising that content didn't deliver? Data is neutral. Verdicts are emotional. One produces useful information for the next iteration or next idea. The other produces a story about why you should actually stop. Difference number 4, they have a long time horizon, so long term. Most creative brand owners operate on a short term horizon. This month, this video, this client, this metric. The best creative thinkers that I've worked with and I have seen operate a long time horizon. They post the video that won't go viral because they know it builds the right audience. They stay consistent through the months that feel like nothing is happening because they understand that compound interest is invisible until it isn't. Again, let's go back into the example of when you're working out. You're putting in the reps, you're putting in the work, 1, 2 months, nothing's happening, 3 months, nothing's happening, and boom, 4th month, all that work is visible. So short-term horizon creativity is reactive and anxious. Long-term horizon creativity is deliberate and calm. Audiences can feel which one they're actually watching. Difference number 5, they protect their input as seriously as their output. Every creative obsesses over output. What nobody talks about is protecting input with equal seriousness. So the best creative thinkers that I've surrounded myself with and I've spoken to are ruthless creators of what they let into their minds. They understand that output is a direct function of inputs, and they manage the inputs the way an athlete manages diet. High quality, diverse, non-derivative input produces original output. Low quality, homogeneous, algorithmically selected input produces derivative outputs. It's not more complicated than that. So, how do we build the creative mindsets? You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. These are trained skills, not personality traits. None of what I've described is a personality trait. Every single difference I outline is a trained cognitive skill, but through deliberate practice, strengthened through repetition, available to any creative willing to do the work. The question is never, am I this kind of creative? The question is, am I practicing this consistently enough to become this kind of creative? The daily reps. So rep number 1, before every creative session, write 3 words. Creation mode, no evaluation. The set intention that the critic is not invited until the work is actually done. Rep 3, once a week, spend 20 minutes working on your system, not your content. What friction can I remove? What decision can I make once so I never have to make it again? Rep 3, after every unperforming piece, write 3 data questions. Not what does this mean about me, what this tells me about the process, my hook, my targeting, my audience. Rep number 5, weekly 1 input audit. So remove one thing, consuming low quality creative material, and replace it with something that feeds original thinking. That could be reading, going for a walk. 5 reps, practice consistently. Over time, they stop being practices and start being how your mind actually works. So what changes after all this? When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Here's what I've watched change in my own work and in the clients I've built content systems for. When these mindset shifts actually take hold, the content gets more specific. Not because you try to do or to be more specific, because you stop filtering out the specific angles during creation. The consistency becomes natural, not because you become more disciplined, because the system removed the decision from the actual equation, so no friction involved. The bad months stop actually breaking you. A slow month is data input, not a verdict about what you are worth or about your future. And the client's change, deliberate, calm, long horizon creative energy is magnetic in a way that anxious, reactive, short-term energy never is. The mindset is not the soft part of building a creative business. It's the foundation everything else is built on. So, favorite, the action plan. 5 things, do them today, not this week. Write 3 words before your next creative session. Creation mode, no evaluation, put your phone down and make the thing before the critic gets a vote. Number 2, open your note app and write your content system in 10 steps or less. If you can't, you don't have a system yet. Start with 1 step. Idea arrives, goes in the bank. Number 3, pick your last underperforming video and ask 3 questions. Where did the retention drop? Was the hook aligned with the content? Was the thumbnail speaking to the right person? Write these answers down. The more you write down from pen to paper, the more clarity you will have. Go back 90 days and find 1 piece of content that's still quietly working. Screenshot it. That's your long time horizon evidence. Look at it next time a slow week tries to convince you nothing is working. Unfollow one account that makes you feel behind every time you see it. Right now, open the app, do it before you finish this actual video. Now, before you go, if you want to have the exact framework to turn everything we covered today into content that actually sells, grab the Scroll Stop Playbook. I have the link down below. It's a complete system, 12 hooks, archetypes, 33 plug and play scripts, 30 AI prompts, and a Notion workspace built specifically for creatives who are getting views but not making any sales. Like I said, the link is in the description below. If you want to build the full content acquisition system for your specific brand or your business, there is a strategy called link down below as well. And subscribe if this helped you with anything. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.